Okay, so this is number 4. I think this is the longest video that we've done. So we've got all of our panels and they've all got their 2 frames on. There's the window sills and the wall. Now on this one I've reversed it. I've put the dark here and the lighter at the side. On the little one, the scrap one I was doing, I did it the other way around. It really doesn't matter, it's entirely up to you. So all of the frames are the same. They're all sitting on the same side, and that's important. It doesn't work if you mix them up. Now, once they're all back in the right place, what we've got to do is add this sashing. Now, I again would keep this fairly narrow, so we don't want a very wide band here. This is just to bring them all together. But I have seen some attic windows where they miss that out and they just join the blocks back together, and it seems to miss something. So I think it's a good point to put in, but again, it's your piece of work. So these strips are finishing at 1 inch, so they were cut at 1.5. And what I would suggest is you sash this piece to here and then join this block onto the sashing. So to join those 2 together, those 2 together, then join those together. So you've got 1 row. Then do the same again. So this sashing onto this block onto that sashing, join those 2 together and then join those. So, you know, as we always do, we build up. We don't go 1, 2, add 3, then 4. So build them up in 2s. So you will then have 3 columns and then add long sashings down those 2 pieces to join them together. Now this is where it's important, when you've put the long sashing on here, when you're adding this one on, try to get those lines to line up, and the same at this point, we want those lines to line up, otherwise your window's going to, mind you, it could be a very old house, couldn't it? It could be a wibbly wobbly house, so don't worry too much about that. So then the whole piece is joined back together. Now I then added a slightly wider frame just to bring the whole thing back together, and I sashed it in the same colour. So it's actually navy blue, it looks black on there, but it's navy blue just to finish the whole thing. Now for quilting, I'm going to bring you a bit closer. So for quilting on this, because this was became a quilting exercise, what I did is on each of the window frames, the sills, I did some straight lines. So mine are actually done free motion, but you could do them whatever you want. And just to put some texture in there. So I did the same quilting on all of those frames. So you could put your walking foot on and you could do a few lines on there just to hold it in place. Or you might want to make it look like knots in the wood and you could do some wiggles, it's up to you. Now, on the picture, it depends entirely what the picture is, how you're going to quilt this. But each block is quilted separately, but once it's all in place. So there is some free motion quilting around the feathers. There is a little bit of hand quilting as well. But again, it would depend on what the picture is of how you want to do it. But particularly if you've done larger blocks, you do have to do some quilting, otherwise it will just sit, it won't sit flat. You want to get some texture into it. Particularly with Christmas ones, it's nice to maybe put some gold or metallic threads in. You could add some beads or sequins or whatever you want, really. It's entirely up to you. So there's attic window. See what you think. I know some people will be worried where they're going to get panels from. I spoke to my friend who works at Cotton Patch last night, and Cotton Patch do have some panels available. Crafts and Quilts in Southport, Bob's always got some panels as well, and obviously with the moment we can't get to shows to see them, so just have a look around, see what you can find, or just have a practice, just practice making it on a scrap of fabric to get the technique of the Y seams. Okay, hope that helps. Bye.